Assalamu alaikum, my dear students of class 9. Today I shall discuss chapter 10, Introduction to Databases, MS Access 2010. Now, see what is databases. Database means collection of some data. Now, every organization maintains data relating to its say, employees, stock, then the production, everything. So every organization maintains data pertaining to its clients and employees and other thing. And it is one of the most important part of that organization. Earlier, data was stored manually. Say, I am giving an example. Now, your data, for example, student data. A school maintains student how? So, it maintains the record of a student name, roll number, address, then class, then phone number, like this in a record. In a means file. Then maybe that school also manages the buses, also have the bus, so there will be a separate record of the student for the bus. Then the student also stays in hostel, so there will be a record for student relating to hostel. So these are data. So earlier the databases are stored manually, but with the advent of with the evolution of the technology and the maintaining data using the computer became important. Now every organization maintains its data based on computer with some softwares. Now a database arranges information in such a way that any piece of information can be easily accessed at any time. So we should maintain a database in such a way that any piece of information can be easily accessed at any time. Now, for example, a school maintains the record of the students. Now, if say after 10 years a student came to school to get some record related to his record, now the searching his record will be time consuming. So in order to overcome this type of difficulties, it is better to have the computer based databases. Now what is database? A database is an organized collection of data. So actually I am calling data, as you know that it is data, DATA, but sometimes we call it data. So but the exact pronunciation is data. So you may call database. A database arranges information in such a way that any piece of information can be easily accessed, retrieved, modified. That means what? A piece of information is there. So that information, if that information can be retrieved at any time, can be modified, can be updated. This is called the database. And there are many ways in which data can be organized in a database. So there are basically many ways, but in your book it is that telling that there are 4 ways. Basically there are 4 ways to maintain data in a database. They are hierarchical, network, relational and object oriented. Or hierarchical, network, relational and object oriented. Of these 4, the best is the relational database. Now what is database management system? Or in short form you also call it as DBMS, database management system. A DBMS can be defined as a program. Basically DBMS is the program or the software which is used for accessing, for retrieving, for modifying data. A database can be defined as a program that manages databases easily, efficiently and accurately. the software which can manage a data very efficiently, easily and accurately. This type of software known as database management system. And some of the most popular database management system software are, one is MS Access 2010, then we have MySQL, then we have Oracle, then Microsoft Visual Fox Pro. So your chapter is based on MS Access 2010. Now, why do we need database? What is the necessary for database? Because earlier we used to store the data on a pen paper. We had the pen paper method. We store data in some files or in some record book. Now, why do we require to have the computerized based database management system? Number one is the databases reduces data redundancy. Now, what do you mean by redundancy? For example, a school have a file for which keeps the record of all the academic activity of the student. Now, another file is there which is used to store the hostel related activities of the student. Another one is for the bus, another one is for the personal information. So we see what there are four records, are the different records are there. They are stored in four different places. Now, when we are going to retrieve, when we are going to see, when we are going to access this data, it will require time. Also, means time consuming. Also, there is suppose we want to modify something, so it is little bit difficult. So if it is of databases, computer-based databases, then we can easily modify, we can easily access, and we can do anything accurately. So this is redundancy. So databases reduces redundancy. Number two, databases control data inconsistency. Now, what is inconsistency? For example, I am taking the earlier example, student person information, student academic information, students bus related information and student hostel related information. Now, say for example, a student has changed address. Now, if it is manual records, data record system, so what will happen? We have to change the address in the bus record file, then we have to change the address in the hostel, then we have to change the address record in the personnel file. So it will, this is called inconsistency. If we do it with the help of databases, so it will remove the inconsistency. Number three, databases facilitate sharing of data. Now, using database, we can share data over network, through USB drive, through CDs, DVDs. Number four, databases enforce standard. Now, the DBMS make it possible to apply certain standards. We can apply certain rules or standards to that program. Databases ensures data security. Now, with the help of, if you compare the manual database system and the computer database system, you will see the computer database system, the database management system is much more secure than manual, because the manual will be somewhere, but in the computer we can make it password protected, so that no unauthorized access can take place, or no unauthorized person can access the data. So there will be a DBA, that database administrator, who will the database administrator permission is required for accessing the data. And lastly, databases maintain integrity. Now, another very important is that databases maintain integrity of the data. Now, the most important thing, the most important part of a database is the table. The table is the most important part of a database. So it is the building block of databases. I am just showing an example. Say this is my table. So roll number, name, say this is class. So roll number is 158, say name is John, Abdul and Raju, class set 10, 9 and class 8. Now this is a table. A database stores data in the form of tables. Basically a database stores the data in the form of like this table. A table is generally a collection of data on a specific topic. Now a table will contain data based on a specific topic. Now here my topic is say student database, so it will contain the data related to a specific topic, and the table is the basic element of the database, and a table is organized into rows and columns. You can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 4 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, these are rows, 1, 2, these are columns. Now the rows are known as record. So these all are record. These are records, and these are fields. The rows are known as record. You can see the horizontal rows are known as records, and the vertical they are known as the field. So what is record? A record contains information about one item or entity. You can see a record contains information about only one thing. Here it has information about John. John started in class 10 and his roll number is 1. So it contains information about of only one item or individual. And a field contains a certain type of information on all records. You can see this is a field, so it contains the name record of many individual. So it contains, a field contains a certain type of information. Certain means here it contains name, here it contains class, here it contains roll number on all records, and it is also known as attribute. These are also known as attribute. The field are known as attribute, and the record are known as tuple. They are also called record or tuple, and these are known as field or attribute. Now what is primary key? Now just I am telling, when I am giving an example. Say for example, this. Now here, how can you identify, how can you differentiate between this John and John? Name is same, class is same. It is the roll number with which we can differentiate that this is this John and this is this John. So like this, in a table, we may in a class or in anything, in the organization, maybe same a particular record name is same. Now how can you differentiate between these two records? So we can differentiate between these two records using the help of the primary key. So what is primary key? A primary key is a group of one or more column used to uniquely identify each record of a table. Now here the roll number, with the help of roll number field, we can uniquely identify that, we can uniquely differentiate between the two. So for this table we can have the roll number as the primary key. The primary key is a group of one or more columns used to uniquely identify each record of the table. Now there is a two rule of the primary key. Number one, the primary key must be unique, and number two, it must not have a null value. We cannot have a null value, another thing we can, and it must be unique. For example, say if I take the field name as primary key, there will be a problem because these two names are same. If I take class as the primary key, there will be a problem because we may have the many records with the same data, but the roll number will always be different. Yes, you may say that class 9 and 10, class 9 and 10, maybe roll number 1, these two numbers. I am just giving an example. If I take all as class S, or say all as 10, all same, only we can differentiate with one another with the help of the roll number. So roll number here is the primary key. So it is very important in a database to have a primary key. The primary key that is made up of more than one attribute is known as composite key. Now as I told you earlier, what is attribute? The field is also known as attribute. Now the primary key that is made up of more than one attribute, they are known as composite key. For example, say this John same, this is of class 9, this is of class 9. So we can also take class also. So you can take roll number and class to differentiate between John and John. So you can say this a composite key, a primary key that is made up of more than one attribute is known as, we here have two attribute, is known as composite key. And now what is candidate key? A field or a group of field that can be used as the primary key of the table is called candidate key. A field or a group of field that can be used as the primary key of a table is known as candidate key. And then we have the alternate key. A candidate key of a table which is not the primary key which is not made its primary key is called alternate key. A candidate key of a table which is not made its primary key is called alternate key. Now I come to what is relational database. Now actually a relational database is one in which data is stored not in a single but in a very large table, or it consists of multiple tables. It consists, say another table is there, this table is related to student person information. Say there is a separate table which consists the data related with their hostel. So there are two tables. So this type, when there are more than one table, we use the relational database. So a relational database is one in which data is not stored in a single but is stored in very large table. The database is composed of several tables, each containing a specific piece of information, and each contains a specific piece of information. Say this contains the academic, this contains the hostel, another contains the bus, another contains the person information, like this. So all these tables can be joined with the help of relational database. Now what is foreign key? A foreign key is a field. A foreign key is a field or a group of fields that is or are used to establish a link between data in two tables. For example, if there is particular field is there, say there is a roll number, and this is hostel room number, and this is say hostel number, and this is hostel block, then say room number. Now here say roll number is the roll number wise, or you can take roll number, or say I am taking here ID. I am not taking roll number, I am taking ID. ID means identification number. Every student in a institute has a specific piece of number, different number, so this is known as ID. So I am taking the ID, I am not taking roll number, I am taking the ID. So this ID is known as foreign key. How? See, a foreign key is a field or a group of field that is or are used to establish a link between data in two tables. So the fields or a group of field with the help of which we can link between two tables, it is known as foreign key. Now what is, now we are starting the relation database. The relation database is computed with the help of RDBMS. What is RDBMS? RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. The software that manages creation, modification, deletion and addition of data. A relational database is as the software that manages a relation database. Manages means you can edit, modify, we can add. So a software that manages a relation database is called relation database management software, and some of the examples are here again. MS Access 2010 is a relation database software. Then we have Oracle, MySQL, then Microsoft Visual Fox Pro. This all are the example of also relation database management system. Another thing, the file extension of MS Access database file is .mdb. So now I will be showing some practical interface. I will show you practical. I will be having a practical demonstration. I will be showing you practically. See, so as I told you that we are basically I am discussing MS Access 2010, but as because in my computer it is MS Access 2016 installed, but all the feature of MS Access 10 is also present. They are same, so no problem. So I am opening Access. So I am just showing you some interfaces. So basically, when we create a database, so we have to basically it come as database 1, but we can rename it or change. So I am taking just an example as test. Okay. So and I am just saving it in say desktop. Okay, so I am creating a database. So create. Now let me show you the interfaces. You can see the interface. We have the title bar. This is known as the title bar. You can see that I have already named test. So this is the title bar. I am showing with the help of mouse cursor. Title bar. It appears at the top of the window. It appears at the top of the window, and it displays the name of the active database. And it displays the name of the active database. Here, my active database name is test. Then we can see there is some option are there. In the taskbar we have the save option is there, undo, redo, and here we have the quick access toolbar is also present in title bar. So quick access toolbar means some menus are there which we can open quickly. Then we have in this part we have minimize, maximize and close, and this is related to if we require any help, so we can press this. Then ribbon. The the ribbon, this part, this is the area, the ribbon area is below the title bar. Below the title bar is the ribbon area. This is the ribbon area. The top of the window has tabs, so it has option like home, create, external data, database, tools, this option. So this is ribbon. This is ribbon. Then we have next we have the file tab. In this file tab we have the new, we can open the new, or you can open the existing one, save as print, close, all these are there in this file tab. Then we have the navigation pane. This is the navigation pane, this area. This is the navigation pane. So this is the area on the left of the window. So you can see this is the left of the window, and that displays our database objects. Then we have we can see the tabbed bar. This is known as the tab bar. It helps us to open. We can open, if you click here, you can see you can open if you want to open it here, you can click from here. So we can help us to open and display the database objects. Then we have the status bar. The status bar is present at the bottom. This is the status bar. At the bottom of the window, I am showing the mouse cursor, and displays information on the current database, and it contains display information on the current database. Now what are the objects of MS Access 2010? Number one is the table. As I have already discussed, the table is a building block of a database, and table can be opened in two ways. You can see with the either in data design view or in data sheet view. We can either open in design view or you can open in data sheet view. Now what is the difference? The design views helps us set the table by specifying the various fields in a table, and the data sheet views is used to enter the data in a table. So I'm just, example is there, I'm just showing it from that table. Okay, see here, when I am opening it directly, this is the data sheet view. But if I want to make some design of the table, so I'll click it in design view. This is the design view, and if you don't click it, this is open, it is the data sheet view. Then what is query? A query is the option. A query, we can see here from queries, we can insert the query. A query is a question that we ask about the data, or in some way you can say it is a request to perform an action on the data. A query is a request to perform action on the data. Then we have forms. The forms presents the data in a table or query in the manner we want to be displayed. And from, you can see here, you can from here you can design the query, from where you can create the form. So from means what? From presents the data in a table or query in the manner we want it to be displayed. How we want to view it, how it should be displayed. So this is presented by form. Then we have report. You can see in this part, report. The report is the printed result of data. It is the printed result of data. Then we have the macro and module. Now what is macro? Macro in Access 2010 are used to add functionality to our database. If you want to add some functions, if you want to add some say repetitive iteration type repetitive function in database without programming, then we can use the macro. And what is module? A module store programming statement written in Visual Basic application, like Visual Basic we have programming language, so it can be linked with we can link a database to a Visual Basic with the help of VBA. VBA means Visual Basic application, so then we use the module. Now how can you open MS Access 2010? So basically for opening MS Access 2010, we click on Start button, All Programs, Microsoft Office and Microsoft Access 2010. Here I have just directly opened by typing search. Here I have directly opened it. Now how can you create a database? That I have shown you, again I am showing it. Access 2000. So how can you create? First so while creating, you can see some, you can see here we can here some templates, we can see some designs or templates is already there. So on the window shown, click simple, we can click simple templates. If you want some, you can have some templates. So we are just going for sample templates as it is 2016. So if we go to blank database, okay, so basically we can search it for here, sample templates, SAMPLE, sample templates. So you can see here some already sample templates it is showing. Okay, some templates it is showing, and so we can click on any simple templates. Then we can contact the web base. We can also use the custom base app. We can use from here templates, what type of templates we want. Now how to create a blank database? For creating a blank database, we'll click on that and then blank database, click on blank database, then we'll type a name for the database. Suppose I can type, okay, it is database 1, then we can browse it where we want to store. You can just browse it. By default it is storing in my documents, then you can click on create. So a blank database will open. How can you suppose how to make a database? I am showing. So first I am making a table. So how to make a table? I am making a table in design view. I will right click it and just click here in design view. The table name say is table 1. Okay, table 1. So see ID, say ID. I am making the, which one I have shown you example, I am making that one. Tab, we can use the tab key for going from one cell to another cell. Then I am taking name, name. Now the name, we have to mention the data type. So you can see here we can use short text, long text. So I want long text. Okay, tab, then I am giving say class. So I want the data type class as short text. Okay, then how to save a database? So we can just click on save at the, you can see here at the taskbar. So this table will be saved. So once we click, and we can just enter the data. You can see here, click tab, name is say John Abdul, then class 10, and then say number 2 it is John, and class say 10. So like this we can enter data. Okay, now if you double click it, this table will come. Suppose we want to modify the table, we right click it and we'll go to design view. So this is the way we can save a database. Now how can you name a field? A field name, see this is the field name, I am showing it in design view. These are the field names. A field name can be up to 64 character long. So it can be up to 64 character long. And a field name can include letters, numbers, special characters. We can also use underscore also. A field name cannot have a period. We cannot have it like this I.D. We cannot have period or any symbols except underscore. Field name cannot start with a blank space. We cannot start a field name with a blank space. And field name can be in upper, lower and middle. So you can see I have done the uppercase there. I have mixed uppercase and lowercase. So we can have uppercase, lowercase, and like this. Now how to close the database? So we just directly, if you click on this one, we close, or if you go to file and close, so database will close. Now how to open an existing database? So I am showing it. Okay, let me open the, suppose, okay, I want to open this database student. So let me open MS Access Access 16. So suppose what I'll do, open other files. We can use this one, or we can use this open command. Then say where it is, browse. I am browsing it in desktop. So documents, say I am searching it in the desktop, and we can see the student database. Just select it, open. So what will happen? This the particular database has opened. You can see this is the database opened. So what is the option that, or another option is there. We can click on file tab, open. Say I want to open a database from document. Say this one, test. So test. So like this also we can open any database. So let me open student. Now how to set the data type of a database? See, okay, I am just showing it in tabular form. How can you set the data? See, I have used roll number. So what I used, the roll number I have used as primary key. So the data type here I have used what? Auto number. The name data type I have used what? Short number. I can change it. See, short number, short text, long text, number, date and time, currency, auto number, yes, no, only object, hyperlink, attachment, calculated, lookup. You can take any, but I know that my name should be come in the short text, so I am using short text. You can see this. I am using PH number, means suppose phone number. So basically for entering the phone number I have used what data type? Number. I have used the number. So this is how. So how can you set the data type? So we can set the data type by clicking on the field header, and then in the formatting group of the field tab, we'll click on the data type, and so we like this we can change the data type. So what is, now let me discuss about the data types of Access. Now what is text, or you can say text. Here okay, it is written as short text, long text, but in MS Access 2010 we call short text as text and long text as memo. Short text as text and long text as memo. Now text is used to store text. It can store up to 255 characters. You can see here the short text can store up to 255 characters. But if I take it as long text, the long text can store data of up to 63,999 characters. Then we have the number. The number is used for numeric data. Then we have the date and time. The date and time is used for storing date and time values. Then we have the currency. The currency, by currency we can specify the currencies in different formats. Then we have auto number. I have used in roll number for primary key. The auto number is stored. It stores an integer that increments automatically as the record adds. And then we have the yes no. Yes no, this can have only two values, either true or false. Then we have OLE object. This stores a graphics object such as worksheet or work document. This OLE object, it stores some graphics or objects or say any Word document. Then we have hyperlink. This is a clickable part. So if I insert a hyperlink, we can click on that part. It's a link. So hyperlink clickable part to a folder on our hard disk. So basically these are used on web-based application. Then we have attachment. This is used to attach a file to a record. The attachment is used to attach a file to a record in the same way we attach to an email address. Suppose I want to attach a file to this database, so I can use the attachment. Then calculated, it is used to store the result of calculation. Calculator is used to store the result of calculation based on other fields. And lastly, we have the lookup wizard, and this field shows a list of values that may be taken from a table or a query. Now, what is lookup wizard? See, the lookup wizard this data type creates a field that allows us to choose a, suppose I am creating a field now, okay, in this my existing one I am creating a field now, say I am writing choose, 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 and if I take now, it allows us to choose a value from another table or values. So we can choose a value from another table by using this lookup wizard. So we'll click on lookup. So for inserting the lookup wizard, we can click on lookup and relationship. We can have like this, lookup and relationship. So we can have it on lookup and relationship in the drop down shown in. So we can have a lookup here in the drop down. We can have a lookup here. So in this drop down. This is not enable content. Then we have how can you work with fields. So sometimes we need to add a new field, or we need to move a new field, or we need to hide or unhide a column, or we need to freeze. So how can you do it? So you can see, let me open it in design view. So how can you add a new field? So we can add a new field. We can add a new field by clicking on the column header, and on the right of which we can add a new field, or else we can add a new field by you can see here, if you design view, if I just want to add a new field, so I can add a new field here. Suppose I already say this is a spin, and say this I am taking as a number. So this is how we can add a, okay, save. See, we can add a, so already new field has, you can see choose, and this field has added. So we can another way, see, we can add a field is, you can see here also the lookup wizard has come. See, lookup wizard, actually it tries to open. This showing some problem is there, but I'm just showing you this is how we can open the lookup wizard. Okay, so how can you suppose click here to add a field? So we can just, if you want to add a field, we can just click, and suppose we want this as a currency, so we just click, see a field is open, name is was field 1. We can change it, say fees, we write his name as fees. See, it has come. So this is how we can add a field. Suppose how can you move a field? So suppose I want to move this one. So how to move it? we'll click on the column header. See, I have clicked it. I am showing again. We'll click on column header, then drag it to the left or right. Suppose I want to move it this side. See, I have just dragged it. Earlier choose was here and pin was there, so I have just drag it. So I clicked and drag it. If I drag it, see, let me click and drag it this way. See, this is how we can move a field. Now, how can you hide a field? So it is what can you do? We'll just select the column header. Suppose I want to hide this one. I will click on this one. Then we select the home tab. Now under home tab, under the record group, so you can see under record group we have click more. We'll click on more. Then we can see hide fields. See, hide fields. See, my field is added. Another way also you can do like this. If you just select this, we just select this column, right click, hide fields. This, so in two way we can do. One way is that we'll just select the field and we'll click on home tab, under record group, then more and see hide fields, or we can select it and right click and this option come hide fields. We can also unhide field also. Now as I have already hidden two fields, so how to restore the hidden field? We'll click on home tab, under record group we'll click on more, then you can see unhide fields. See which one already I have hidden, which one I have I want to this I unhide fees, and you can see it is coming pin. See, already it has come fees and pin, it has come. So this is how we can hide or unhide. Another I am showing how can you freeze or unfreeze. So when you scroll to the right in a table, that has many fields. Viewing the leftmost become sometime say this is very lengthy, very long. This table is there. So sometimes viewing the right leftmost becomes very difficult. Leftmost becomes very difficult. So we can freeze one or more two columns to view it. For example, say this particular table is very long. Say now I cannot view some tables, so I can freeze some fields. So how to freeze a field? So we'll click to freeze the field. We'll click the column header. Then same way we'll select the home tab, under more you can see here freeze fields. So it has already, so this is gone this side, so it has freezed the field. Or another option is there, we can also freeze. Suppose I want to freeze this one, right click, you can see freeze fields. So it is freeze. Now how to unfreeze it? So it will go to leftmost part. So how to unfreeze? Same way, home, record group, more, and then unfreeze all fields. So see, unfreeze, actually basically my table is not so long. Now here we are seeing because it has not gone, but if my table was very big, you could have seen that this is gone. Or you can click on right click, unfreeze all fields, so it will become unfreeze. So how to change the fields format? How to change the field format? To change a field format, suppose, see, I want to change a field format. So how can I change? So we'll click on column header, then click on the arrow next to the format box in the formatting group on the field tab. You can see in the field tab there is a group called formatting. Then we'll click here. You can see I have clicked on field tab, then on formatting group, then we will have a format. You can see here format box is there. So go in the format box is there. Then we'll select the required. We can select the, see here, we can select the required data type, and so see it will be changed. So you can see it will be changed. So we can change a field format. Now how to add a default value to a field? So we can add a default value to a field by clicking on the say default value. I want it here. Okay. So we'll click on the column header, then we'll click on the field tab. Under field tab we can see in the properties group default value is there. Then we can set a default value. Suppose I am setting this was pin, so I am setting a default value like this 766543. Say this I set as a default value. So you can see here the default value has come. And we can also add captions to a field. So how can you add a captions to a field? So we can add a captions to a field by clicking on the, suppose I am adding captions here. So click the column header, then we'll click on field tab. Under field tab in the properties group you can see here name and caption is there. So we can see name is fees, caption say total, say I have written total fees. So you can see total fees, total. So we can also add name is fees, but we can add a caption. So I have written add the captions total fees. And we can also change the field property also by clicking on that. Another way also you can change the field property by clicking on the, suppose I want to change the field property of this one. So I will click on the column header, then in the field validation, then we will find a field validation is there. We can also change it like this also. If you go to data sheet view, then we can find it here the validation rule. So field validation, you can see the validation rule is there. By unique, we can say the unique box, checkbox the field validation, and you can also, if duplicate values are there, you will get error. Now we can also restrict, see we can also restrict the data input validation rule. So basically there is two validation rules there. One is field validation rule and another is record validation rule. So we can restrict data so that no one can just enter the data. So field validation rule is that we can use a field validation rule to specify a criteria. We can add a criteria. We can use the validation rule or criteria. And record validation means, that means what? For field we can have some validation rule. Likewise for record we can have some validation rule. Now how to set a validation rule, field validation rule? So for setting the field validation rule, we will select the field we want to validate. Say I am selecting this field. Now we'll click on field groups, okay, field tab, fields tab. Now under the validation group, you can see here field validation, under the validation group click validation, we'll clicking validation, then we'll click field validation rule, here we can set any rule, use the expression builder, then we can use the, see, enter expression builder to validate the field. We can use the expression builder and then we'll just click on the OK. So this is how we can enter a validation rule. Suppose I want the value should be say 6 digit. Suppose I want that a field validation rule it should be 6 digit. So I will write here it should I should write a function there, then total digit is 6 digit. I can write here like this, must be less than 6 digit. Now how can you set the record validation rule? So we can set the record validation rule, this is a record. So how? On the field, first we will open the table for which we want to validate records. Then suppose already I have opened table, then on the field tab, in the field validation group, click validation, we'll click validation, then we'll click on record validation. Actually let me select a record validation rule, then we from there, actually I am not getting here, we'll click on validation, then record. Actually field validation rule, field validation message, validation rule. Actually this is the record validation, this is the record validation, and this is the record validation. And from here we can see, we can enter expression. There is expression is written what record we want to validate. So we can write any conditions here. Okay, so you can use the values. Now I am showing that say suppose how can you use sorting, how can you use the total, sort, filter and search data. So let me enter a data. Suppose let me just say, let me enter some marks. So okay, I am showing it. How can you sort a data? So we can sort a data. We will double click the we'll double click it, and we can just if you click it here, it will show you. See, say suppose I want to sort it in descending order. So you can see it is sorted in descending order. Suppose I want to sort in ascending order, we can sort in ascending order. Suppose then say we can also sort it number wise, smaller to larger, larger to smaller to largest, largest to smallest. Say fees, suppose if I enter a fees here, so if you want to more one first, so we can sort it. So sorting, and we can likewise we can also total also. So this this thing will get on when you click on home tab. Then in the record group, you can see in the record group we will find the options like total. Say now I am not done in total. Let me show you. Actually I am not done total. You can total some values also, like in Excel I have shown. You can add some values, you can total it by this function. Now so nothing is there to total. So if I give some values, it will total. Then it can also check the spelling and grammars, and sorting is very easy. So we can sort it if we click it on same. See in the sort and filter group of the home tab, we will finding whether you want to sort ascending or descending. If you want to remove sorting, so we can use this. Now we can also filter data also. We can see, suppose selection, we can filter it from here, or we can use the advanced, but you have to select. Suppose you when you want to filter data, you have to select all data, and then we can filter it. Then there is an option called advanced filtering. In advanced filtering, when you click on the home tab under sort and filter, advanced sort and filter, advanced filtering option is there, and there you can see filter by form, apply filter, sort, all these options are there. Another thing is there, we can also search. We can also search for the if you want to search a data quickly, so we can also search for the data. So for searching a data, so it is very we can also, you can see here, you can use this one for searching any data, suppose of a particular database. So for searching, to search quickly, use the search box at the bottom, or you can use see there is a search box for searching quickly. We'll use the search box at the bottom of the MS Access 2000. Suppose I want to it is showing how many records, 5 records. Suppose I want to search anything, so I'll just type it here, so that record will just highlight, because in my table I have very less data. So this all thing what I am showing you, it will be more clear when you do it practically on a lab. So that we will be doing it, and hope you understand. Those confusion we have, just write the confusion once the school opens, and we will be doing it practically. and the queries or the questions which we have, the problem which you just write it and you can ask me for, I will try to clear your problems and queries. Okay, thank you.